It's going to say, let's see, this is go, pops in. I can see.
I got the invite.
I don't. It's come on. Yeah. So we're live now. Hey, everybody, how you doing? We're going to go live right now. I'm working with two computers right now. Obviously, you can see me in the little box here, but we got this, the heading per se. So I'm gonna create a watch party. Excuse me. I'm thinking games already.
Exactly. Watchtower. We'll get to Game of Thrones and Justice League later, people.
Exactly. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're here with DJ Johnny Guzman. I'm gonna go ahead. Wait, nobody can see you yet because I got the front screen going right now.
Okay.
But
perfect.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody can see you yet. But let me set this all up, and then we're gonna create like the watch party on my basically my. Okay, so here we go. So everybody, we got two people already. This is the watchtower, the watch party going on right now. So let me go ahead to live, and we're gonna do this. What's up, people? How you doing?
How's it going?
Welcome to the front room, brought to you by DJ Beta for Fantastic Events. And every day, just to explain real quickly how this works, is that I interview DJ one-on-one. I do the show in the afternoon with the live streaming, with the music. This is going to be pure entertainment. So today, we have DJ Guzman, Juan Guzman. So just to kick it off, Juan, for those people who don't know you, go ahead, give everything you got about what you're doing and everything. All right, go ahead.
All right, well, to everybody, I actually do DJ, not just MC, not just stand around the guys. So mainly my DJ background has been more of, I left the little club scene back in the day and I started doing more about weddings, cotillions, hyping up kid parties and stuff like that. Because in all reality, that's where the real good money's at, But I've been DJing since 97. I think that's when I first met Prieto, was around that time. I was just a little mocoso carrying flyers for the guys and passing out flyers and selling music at the Music Spot store on Division Street. And from there on out, it's been one hell of a ride. That's all I can say right now. With the people that I've met and the people that I interacted with and the stuff that I have done, it's just been, for some people it might be like whatever, but for me it's been amazing, especially growing up where I came from to today. DJing has changed my life a hell of a lot. And yeah, that's basically it. I DJ more Latin than anything. I do throw down with hip hop and house and stuff like that. That's actually what I started with, but I proceed to move on to other things. Just like some DJs, I started with my 1200s. Some other DJs started with CDs. I actually was able to do the whole change from records to CDs to MP3s to videos, karaoke. I mean, I've done it all. So yeah, I've been able to do all that good stuff.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so Johnny, so let's in case you guys don't know, one of the things that I'm going to be doing on here, and Johnny technically is not a newbie in the business. Okay, you see me interview DJ Kiss. He's probably the newest of all the guys. You see me, Rich Weta, it's a long time, but Johnny's been around the scene for quite a while. I want to say, when was the first time me and you had met?
The first time me and you met was when you came with a box of CDs, Siempre Caliente, to the Music Spot on Division Street.
Was it Siempre Caliente? Was it the first one?
I think it was like the very first one.
Okay, that was Ritmo Caliente, because I did
Ritmo Caliente, yeah, because Siempre was the last one. That's right. So Ritmo Caliente.
And that was the Music Spot. Where was that at? 2627
West Division, between Division and Rockwell and Division and Washington.
Oh, that's not there anymore, obviously.
No, now it's wing place. They actually put a wing place on there like a month ago or something like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
I still go in there because I need my wings.
That's cool. But the music spot was owned by, who was it owned by?
Peter Garcia,
Okay, that's
Party Boy Pete.
Party Boy Pete. That's another DJ. DJ that's, I got to get in touch with him because I would like to interview him as well and stuff like that.
I'll give you his number. He should be watching.
No, he better be watching. So I just want to say shouts out to everybody that joined us. There's quite a few people that joined us and stuff like that. So I just want to say shouts out to everybody who joined us. This is the front door. So yeah, we got some nice crowd here. So everybody, how you doing? Ricardo, Ruben, Nova, Felix, Sergio. Hey, Joe.
Hi everyone.
So that's what I was going to tell you is that there's a lot of guys like Pete Garcia, for instance. There's guys that have been in this business for quite a while and they went in different directions, all different reasons and stuff like that. Some of them went into doing the mobile gigs and stuff like that. That's what we're talking about. And I guess that's going to be another aspect of what we're going to talk about because and I'll tell everybody in a heartbeat, I'm busy. I'm super busy, but a lot of times I get phone calls from everybody saying they want me to DJ. And there's one guy that I always get to say, no, I can't do it, but I got someone that's equally talented and stuff like that. And what do? I give him your number, Johnny. I always give him your number because you handle it all. You do everything. You do old school, you do house, you do reggaeton, you do hip hop and stuff like that. And he does all the video mixing as well. So that's the cool part about it. He's one of the younger guys, and I'll say this honestly, but you know what? I'll tell you honestly that he's aggressive. I remember when he was a kid, and he was not
carry your bags to go to Tropicana.
Exactly. Carry the bags because how old are you when I met you?
I was like 14, 13.
Yeah.
Because I just finished graduating elementary school.
Okay.
So I was like a freshman in high school. Not even. It was that summer.
What high school did you go to?
Roberto Clemente.
Okay. that was a little obvious one. Okay.
I had to throw the accent in. People's no soy negro. I'm Boricua, 100%.
That's it. Okay, good. So that's what I was gonna say, because I remember that was you were and nothing against any of the clubs, but there were a lot, even me. I was 15 years old when I started a nightclub, and I knew I wasn't in there to be drinking or to do anything that was illegal per se, but I just wanted to DJ and I wanted to do music and stuff like that. So at that time, when you were working with Pete over at the music spot, selling the mixtapes and CDs, when did you start actually DJing then? When did you actually, what was your, give us a story.
All right, so this is how it actually technically happened. I remember the first time I started working with Pete, I was basically just throwing out trash, cleaning up around the store, making like $20 a day, right?
All right.
And one day, I'll see the turntables there all the time. So one day I thought I would be smart, and I thought that Technique 1200 would be the same thing as the turntable my mom had to play her old school records at home. So I went home and I'm like, I'm a little kid still. I'm not really thinking straight. And I went in there and I just started just scratching on that turntable and messing up them diamond needles and my mom's records. And I just you know what? I want to try this. And the next day I walked into the store and I remember I broke 2 needles and I think an arm when I first started.
You're talking about
Peter was mad,
okay,
but he's like, whatever. Just that same week he just got the Denon 2600. That's when the first CD mixer started coming out.
Okay.
So I was like, I went on the turntables and I just started practicing with the old school house and started learning how to scratch. Peter taught me how to do the crab walk, and from the crab walk on, that's where I just took off scratching. Then I
Wait. You said crab walk. What is that?
That's when he grabbed the fader and he flipping crabs. I mean, they got different names. I don't know. I don't know the technical terms. I
No,
just
I
know how
don't
to do
either.
it.
So that's what the crank
So
walk
it's
is
like
the phasing
you
of it,
flick
right?
when you flick like your fingers and the crossfader all at the same time while you're
Oh,
scratching.
okay. You know what? I mean, that's that. Hey guys, that's new to me. That's news. Okay, that's So you're talking
It's
about
new
when
to
you do
you
it,
in 2020, Prieto. That was invented in your day, man.
but you,
It's old. That's old.
but you know what? I wasn't a big scratcher and stuff. I did it per se, but it wasn't a scratcher and stuff like that. Uh, but go ahead, continue your story. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
So no, that's cool. I mean, it pretty much just went from there. I started on bachata,
Okay.
and this was before bachata became what it is today. Which I still say, if you throw a bachata remake, it ain't bachata sensual. It's just a remix. I want to make that clear. Um, it started with bachata, and I found out that I had a pretty much of a kind of like a nice little swing, but with bachata. Like I got used to it, like real simple. And then from there on out, I started listening to your mixes, Peter's mixes, Luis when he threw in one or two of those mixes in there because he does his dabbles,
Lewis is
and
online
all
too.
the other guys.
Lewis is online too. So hey, man.
Oh, Lewis is on there, yeah, man, and
Yeah.
Lewis, another shout out. Because that's a man that I put through a lot of the ringers as well. So
What do you mean
it's
by
like,
ringers? What do you mean?
come on, man, let's keep it real. I put you guys through hell, Preto, you two included. It's like, it ain't gonna hide it. There's nothing to hide. I put y'all through some shit. It's
These
like,
people don't know what you mean. So that's it. Maybe that.
oh,
There's
they
no holds
know.
barred in them.
I'm a handful all within myself. That's all it is. But yeah, I started from there, then started hanging out, listening to all the other guys mix like DJ Boom, Lewis, Boom's little brother Joey. Then when I started hanging out with you and we were doing Tropicana, that I was hanging out with Lewis Rolling Rivera, Fantasma, Sombra, Alex Perez. I mean, I started learning from each one of you guys a little bit here, a little bit there, so on and so forth. And I think that's one of the things that makes me adaptable, that I hung out with so many different DJs in my time that I could switch to any genre and not have a problem with it. Like,
Right.
I go back in the day when Preto was playing pop rock and used to have 1,500 people cramped up in one little spot.
That was Palladium.
I remember the beginning of the nights, but I never remember the endings. That's all I can say about that one.
So that's what he means by a handful, guys. That's what he means by a handful. So because I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but I never touched alcohol at all until I was 36 years old. I never touched alcohol. I didn't do any drugs or anything like that. And believe it or not, that being in a nightclub, because maybe it was different for you, but when I started DJing in a nightclub at 15, I was DJing Malos, and I got to see the bad of the bad when it came to the alcohol, the drugs and stuff like that. So that kind of scared me into not trying it. I wasn't curious about it because I seen it in front of me. But when I was 36 years old, and then here comes the women, and when it comes to the women, hey, try this, and me like a pendejo, like okay, and stuff like that. But that was one of the things that I would never touch drinks and stuff like that. And you guys, there was a group of guys that were the guys who like to drink, guys who like the beer and stuff like that. Not that you guys did it stupid or anything like that, but I know
that were fun.
Oh yeah, you guys had fun, and that was cool, and especially turning 18, 19 years old, kind of everybody had a dozen and stuff like that. But so I remember you, especially over at what was the place on Lincoln? What was the place that was Boom?
Cielos?
Cielos, El Cielos, and stuff like that. So I remember you mostly emceeing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing and stuff like that.
And yeah, I used to give him that mic voice.
Well, at that time, if I'm not mistaken, I forgot what day. I was during the time I had my mixed CDs and stuff like that. Every club had an MC. That was kind of the big thing, right? Every club, there was an MC. And even like, for instance, Tuesday Night Boxing, Tropicana, right? Tuesday Night Boxing. We had Dr. Love, what GCI. He was our MC. So they played an important part in the nightclub. And maybe that's part of what has changed in the nightclub. I mean, what's your feeling about that with MCs compared to now, like days where they don't have MCs?
MCs, I mean, MCs just helped out the crowd. I love doing the MC work. You know, I love getting up there. All right, everybody, let's make some noise. Put your hands up, and all that stuff is always fun. Do you get stuff done? Yeah, you know, it's fun. But are they necessary? Not really. There's MCs that do a little bit too much. Sometimes I'll find myself in that position where I did a little bit too much and kind of turn off the crowd. You know, so it's something that you really gotta like learn how to play with. But I don't see it being a missing factor. You know, it might help out, but now from what I've noticed, a lot of the clubs have become more of a social scene. So I really don't see them needing an MC compared to when it was like you know, one of like back in the day, we didn't really have the social dancing experience. It was more like people were coming out to dance, they were coming out to party, and we were there to provide the music and the fun. So when that back in the day was necessary, if it was now today, it's not really necessary, especially with all this stuff that we have going with Pandora, Spotify. You know, people already know the music, so there's no reason to even address the song anymore. So cocktail drink specials. I
Well,
mean,
that was going to say, because I know I have a lot of owners that talk to me, because I'm in the business aspect. You know, they, hey, announce these specials, announce what, you know, what's good, and I get it. It helps the bar sales and stuff like that. Because in this business, we have to look at it both the aspect of people who are dancing, people who are consuming stuff like that. It has to work both
yep,
ways, and it's a trick
it's a tricky
balance.
business.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance between the owners and the DJ slash and stuff like that. And you know, we're busy doing what we're doing, and we're looking at a computer, and we're doing all this stuff, and then we're also talking on the mic, and then we're also, you know, saying hello to people that come in the door, you know, and we're like octopuses, and we're like doing 100 different things. And that's why I was going to tell you that with you, one of the things that I guess happens is you, as being the MC, you got to be very knowing people. You got to be like, well, you know, hey, there's Johnny. Hey, how you doing? And stuff. Because when you got off the mic, you weren't just sitting up there on behind the turntables, just like, okay, no, you went in the
I was
crowd, and
walking
you were,
around.
yeah, you were in the crowd and doing all this stuff. And well, that, and I think that's important in this industry, because you know, one of the things that I know that happens with DJs is sometimes, and one of the guys is that, you know, there's a lot of DJs that sometimes get a little stuck up, and they don't want to interact with people and stuff like that. I don't
Yeah.
take requests and stuff like that. You know, there's again, there's a balance.
You know what? I have something to say about that. And the reason that DJs don't take requests is because of the fact that if you want a request, turn on your jukebox, turn on, you know, Spotify, go to your Pandora, pay for the subscription first before you can actually request a song. Because if you can pay for it in Pandora, you can pay for it in Spotify. Guess what? You could give your DJ $5 to throw in that song. I'm just saying, because we already don't get paid that much at the clubs, so every little bit does help.
So you're saying, so what you're trying to tell the customers is that, yes, we'll take a request, but also take care of us as well.
Basically.
Okay. I mean, you know, it's a fair point from, you know, from us working and stuff like that. You know, I tend to think that sometimes people are in an environment, maybe they've been having a little bit too much to drink. They don't realize that they might say something, or the way they say it, like, hey, you need to play this next. You know, and that tends to turn, you know, like somebody tell me you need to, I'll be like, no, I need to play it and ignore you. Okay, goodbye. You know, like, but at the same time, you know, if somebody says, hey man, I would really like to blah 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 blah, here's $5, you know, can you play this song? And I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, let me look it up. And okay, you know,
it's going next, right? At that point, it's coming up next. I mean, hey, I had the other before Dylan's, we went through the shutdown, I had a guy that he's like, hey, here's $20, play some Billy Joel. I said, hey, Piano Man is coming right up. That's all I can do. I mean, he put 20 in my hand. I don't care what was going on at that time.
Okay. I mean, like I said, it has to be a balance, and I get that and stuff like that. So I mean, okay, so here you are, you're emceeing. When did you start actually gigging per se? When was the first gigging that you did?
I mean, man, to be honest, I've been, even as an MC, I've always treated everything as a gig.
Okay.
no matter what I do. I always treated it as a job because it always, even from the MC perspective, by me listening to DJ so and so play, I would sit there and be like, hey, you know, that cut was messed up, but I could improve that cut, and I would learn the music. So it was always like a learning experience / gigging experience, because if I'm MCing, I'm working. At the end of the day, I'm going to get paid. So, you know, so I'll be there, boom, and I'll learn from other DJs what they're playing while I'm doing my MC. And for MC work, I mean, I worked with the best of them. I mean, I've done everything. I've done stage. I've done it all in the background, because I don't like to, you know, but there's even times that I tell you, like, don't even put me on the flyer, put up the radio station. You know, for me, it was nothing, you know, to be in the background. You know,
speaking of what do you mean by radio station? What's that all about, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, well, if you guys see right there, that's Radio Éxito. I had a little small online radio station that I was running. Everything was great. I actually had a lot of listeners. But I got overwhelmed with it, I guess, and decided to stop for a little while. But I'm in my Radio Éxito office right now. I had to dust off some dust coming in here because I literally just didn't give up. It was more like, I'm gonna hold off for a little while for I could refresh and come with a better perspective towards it, better mentality and a fresh take on online radio. And I'm still working on it. I have my app is not on because I'm redesigning everything. Okay. And designing it myself is actually hard work when you really don't know that much of design. So that's why it's probably by this summer it'll be relaunched again, and hopefully it'll take me to, you know, the next level, and all my listeners will still steady be faithful in there. Once I get more guys to do more shows, and, you know, and just put it, but it's just an online radio station, and hopefully by this summer we'll have like music videos playing and the whole line within the app.
Well, so the next question I'm going to say is, you're good, right? You're healthy. Everybody's healthy, and your family, everything's doing good.
I'm just fat. That's all.
But I mean, so you just don't DJ. You also work a daytime job, correct?
Well, I also work a daytime job. I'm an essential employee. Okay. I do deliveries.
To stores and stuff like that.
To stores and stuff like
that.
Well,
you know, I kudos to you, man, because that's needed. And, you know, everybody out there with essential jobs, man, I got to give you credit, man, because it's tough and it's scary out there. So what are your thoughts about this whole COVID thing, and how do you think it's going to affect the industry? What it's affecting us now? How is it going to affect us in the near future, and how it's going to be in the far future? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Preto, you already know how I think, and I'm pretty much on the level where, to me, this was World War III. China, without firing one single shot, has beat everybody for World War III. That's what I think about this. Are we going to get over this? Yes, we're going to get over this like we get through everything else.
Montasser's on the line, by the way. Hey, what's up, Montasser?
What's up, Montasser? He's out there. Thank you for watching, brother. But in all reality, it's not what's happening now, it's what's next.
Okay.
What's going to happen when we beat this? What's going to happen? Are we going to be able to go back to our normal lives? No. We're going to have a difficult time trying to get close to the next person. We're going to have a difficult time trying to be, okay, they open up the bars and nightclubs and theaters and everything. Fine, malls and everything. People might rush out on the first day, but on that first day that people rush out, there's going to be the distancing. And if people see that there's too many people inside this restaurant, they're not going to go in. Just like if they see there's too many people inside this club, they're not going to go in, because it's already been embedded in us for the last 2 months of social distancing. We got to keep our space. So it's just going to make things more difficult. Things will never be the same again. Now, what's going to happen next? Who knows? Am I waiting for it? Yeah, I want to see what happens next. But what do you think will happen next? I mean, this was literally, they're calling it a flu, but it's been a flu that's been patented since 2004.
Right. That's something that I and I guess as I tell everybody, I'm not a microbiologist or anything like that, But that's like with any kind of virus that's out there. It's always been around. The virus has been around for a long time, meaning we just have a label for this one now. But
Yep.
viruses, like, and we can go back, and again, I'm not an expert on this, but we can go back to saying that why the virus becomes a pandemic is because of a situation that it presented itself. So this situation, and maybe in China and Italy and everything else, and then the people coming in New York and the people in Washington and the older people, stuff, it became more prevalent and it became more of a pandemic and stuff like that. I look at the numbers of influenza. In 2000, was it 50,000 people died of influenza and stuff like that. But we didn't stop the country in that and stuff like that. And I know Obama had talked about
SARS.
Right. We can go on the list of all the list of things. The Spanish flu, and I can
Exactly.
I can say this is similar to the Spanish flu, because look at how many people died of it. The people were unprepared. Oh,
Sorry,
what is that?
somebody wants to make a guest appearance.
What is that?
This is a gremlin.
No kidding.
This is my little gremlin.
Okay.
One of two.
He
just wants to make a guest appearance. Since Astro's not in here yet, let me bring Connor on the scene, So.
Oh, is Astro your dog? I always thought that was Frankie J.
Astro's Frankie's dog.
Okay.
this is Connor, the son, and the father's somewhere down there. Like, oh, you could get off, go. Good boy. So yeah, he's sitting here in the office with me, like, hey, what are you doing? Feed me.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Feed me now. So this is literally what we're living is a damn movie. That's what we're living. We're living a damn movie.
Yeah. So with this, what do you think the future is for? Yeah, I mean, your opinion as far as you said the clubs and stuff like that, but what do you think about us DJs as far as what, gigging and stuff like that, and doing, the mobile DJ and weddings and, everything else that's across the board, it's got to affect all that as well.
Oh yeah. And I think that in a way, I have a feeling that the mobile DJing might be coming a rise, because let's keep it real. If you're going to go to a place, wouldn't you rather go to a place where you trust 50 people than a place that you don't know 50 people? It's like, I'd rather throw a party at my house with people that I know that are like, okay, I know you're not infected. I know you're not sick. So yeah, you could come over, than going to a club and sitting there with people that I kind of know, but don't know if they're infected, don't know who they've been with or whatnot. So I think the mobile DJing might be on a surge. Like, I think there might be more parties. Right now, we're all screwed because just with these 2 months alone, I probably got like 13 or 14 parties canceled, because of this stuff. And it wasn't their fault. It was the banquet halls. Sorry, we're closed down. We can't open up, so on and so forth, So it canceled a lot of my weddings. I actually have a wedding May 9th that I can't even do because of this, because everything's closed down. We don't know how it's going to go.
Right.
So,
So my daughter's mother, my ex, Anna, she had a message. She says, I hope this stuff people from living what the best part of their lives are, because it just, maybe they'll look at life differently per se, but at the same time, you don't want it to stop, you stop, and I even said it to someone in my family. It says, are you going to live in a bubble to your life? Are we going to live? So the aspect of it is I think if we look at history, exactly what happened in the Spanish flu in 1918, I think that's when the Spanish flu. Yes, they wore the mask. The same thing. Remember, all the theaters closed down and stuff like that. But I know there's going to have to be a vaccine in order for people to be psychologically like, okay, it's okay to come out. But we didn't wear the mask from 1918 till today and stuff like that. 100 years later, here it happens and stuff like that. And Eddie Murphy say, oh, what's next? We're going to have another virus or something like, that's going to blow you up and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I think we have to look at faith in the fact that you know, the people that are going to actually going to do the real work, the scientists are going to have to figure it out. Um, you know, I understand cautiousness. I understand that, you know, because you don't want to take it home with you. You don't want any, you know, your loved ones to come back and stuff like that. But at the same time, we're all like antsy. We're in the house, and you know, I was just talking about. I seen something in the internet. The Orland Park is going to do concerts or something like that. And there's people protesting out in I forgot where's that at, in Oklahoma
Florida.
or something like Florida. I mean, just all that aspect of it. And you know, people, hey, listen. If anybody wants to rush it for this business to get back on track, it's me as well, because I'm hurting as well. Everybody's hurting,
Exactly.
you know. So, but if you were to do an educated guess, how much time do you think that you really would you know, the business, the industry, how much, what do you think that's going to, how are we going to get back to this? How is that going to really seriously be, you know?
I see myself in a bar or nightclub in the industry probably by no later than September, October.
So Montesor says that he believes private gigs are going to actually be, you know, are going to pick up while
Yeah.
clubs stay closed and stuff like that.
Yes, it is.
So you guys like you are going to benefit better than like a guy like me with the promoter and stuff like, because I rely on nightclubs per se, and you guys with the gigs and the private gigs. I think you may be right. I think it's going to be a supply and demand aspect of it. I think also because now you can say, oh, you know what, if a DJ wants to do, like for instance, somebody has a wedding or a cotillion or baptism, stuff like that, as far as what's called, you know, you're not going to charge what you normally charge, because there's going to be like a guy saying nope, and when a guy's going to say okay.
Oh, I added the COVID-19 price to my taxes already with it. I'm right there on my contract. COVID-19 charge, you know. Whoa, that was the first thing I added. I wasn't playing with that. That's an extra $100 for masks, hand sanitizers, and to stay away from people.
All right, so there you go. I mean, that's gonna be, you know, so recommendation for you guys out there. You know, I guess go with the mobile DJ for aspect of it, and that's where the direction is gonna be going. I say, so Montesor, thank you for that question and stuff like that. Let me see who else is. I mean, God, we got quite a few people. Wow. That's pretty good. Tiffany, Rosie, Gabriel, Adam, Gracie, Joe, Jose. Nice crowd. Obviously, you know, DJ Joker, stuff like that. They all
What's up, everybody?
So.
How's it going?
So, who was your biggest influence in this business, in this industry?
Man, you know what? This is gonna sound cheesy as hell, and it's not because I got all you guys, and I say all you guys because. Like yesterday, Prieto was talking to a couple of guys, and you guys were naming these DJs that are, you know, well, for me, it's like, I gotta say, like, DJ Prieto, you know, I gotta say, like, Men and Lewis, DJ Boom, Kenny Jam and Jason. All you guys were an influence in me because it's how I learned almost everything. Like, I had to learn different styles. Like, I didn't see myself at age 36. Hey, learn how, there's a difference between this salsa and this salsa. And tonight you're playing Cuban salsa. I mean, right. And I learned it. You know, I learned it. I got better at it. I still practice at it. And the only way that I learned about that was working for you, Prieto. You know, working for Dylan's on Friday nights. Don't forget, every Friday night when we come back, we'll be at Dylan's 7:30. You know, let me drop that commercial. But that's where the Cuban salsa came out from. Or, you know, like the bachata sensual. When I first went to the Congress a few years ago that I started the radio station, Prieto tells me, oh, this is bachata sensual. Wait, what? Like, I was totally out of it because in weddings, they're not sitting there asking me for bachata sensual. They're not sitting there asking me for Cuban salsa. It's whatever I play, that's what goes. So my biggest influencers would be you guys, you know, seeing you guys work and seeing you guys adapt to different scenarios and different situations. And that's what made me sort of adaptable as well. Right now, I just turned 37, and I'm hoping that I could go further with this and see where it goes. If the clubs open up and everything comes back to normal, then yeah, you're gonna see me out there. If not,
cool. We got obviously Frank, Sierra, still more people are logging in all the time. So yeah, that's what I want to find out is that, so what is your perspective of, what are your plans for the future in the DJ industry? What are your plans? And you talked a little bit about the radio, but is that where your direction is going to go for the radio? And because,
It's there.
okay, because I guess this is my fourth, and I've been getting positive feedback. So you gave me positive feedback. Everybody's kind of giving me really good feedback because they're like, they really like this setup. I know there's, people are flicking on, they're on Facebook and they're seeing Facebook Live and stuff like that. And there's a lot of guys out there. Everybody's a DJ now on Facebook live stream. Everybody.
Why do you think I haven't done it?
Well, I mean, not that I've done it, and I did it, and I honestly did it at 12 o'clock noon to 1 o'clock because I didn't want. If you notice, I never try to compete with anybody. That's one of the things that I'll never do. I try not to compete with anybody. In fact, I'll ask the question, what time are you going on? 7, 8, okay. Angel Rodriguez, which is a big influence in the music industry here, but he does this show from 7 to 8 o'clock. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the show from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock because I didn't want to conflict in the time wise. And Angel, if you're on, thanks for joining in. But I mean, and talking to DJ Luis Roland Rivera earlier today on the phone, and he's going to be on as well. We're going to do interviewing and stuff like that. And he was just rehashing. He was like, wow, this is amazing, man. I didn't know this, I didn't know that, and you need to talk to this. And it seems that this whole thing, this format that I'm doing, is leading into more people that I need to talk to. More people need to know about this story. Because he basically said to me, hey, you need to talk to Frank Torres' brother, about Moonlight Traveling Disco. And I said, and he was like, oh yeah, that equipment that was from Janelle's and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, you're right, I do. Make sure to call him and stuff like that. So who would you say should you influence in this industry? Who would you, because if you're saying I'm the one that influenced you, then who do you think you influence into this industry? And I'm not talking about your pets there.
I influenced Connor into jumping into my lap. In all reality, I can't really say that I would know the person that I influence, but I can say there's been a lot of kids from my parties that I've done that come in and see me and they're like, hey, and probably one of them, one of these kids would be a DJ sometime, and excuse me for 1 second. Yo, can I do this? Let me let me get this guy somewhere out of here. Here, go that way. So I almost fell. Like what, right here. Yeah. It's like I just
that would be a first. only 4 showing, man. We got some bloopers to show.
Yes, and I told you it was gonna be a good one because of that. So I mean, there's probably some kid out there that see me DJing and is like, hey, I want to be a DJ. I want to give my mother headaches and heart attacks while I come home at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on a school night. But if I did, as long as they take the safe route, because everybody that I hung out with, and that's one thing, when in the 90s in Humboldt Park, there was gangs all over the place. And by hanging out with Peter and going to Sapphires, going to Club Hanks 2424, going to 720, going to the Buzz, going to all these places, kept me out of trouble from gangbanging. Yeah, I got into trouble at these places with the guys being stupid and ignorant, but nothing too dangerous,
Right. So I mean, but you mentioned those clubs. Did you DJ at any of the clubs? Did you? No,
I wasn't a headliner on a flyer or anything per se, but I did open up a bunch of times. I tagged along with Peter, and Peter will be like, "Well, here, go ahead." Just like what Luis did with me at Tropicana Nights. Luis Roland Rivera, and that was the first time ever that I actually was in front of a big crowd. So I ended up playing a mix CD from somebody else. Luis Roland got a hell of a lot of jokes about that night. In the middle of the set, all of a sudden the DJ drop goes on. So it's like, oh. But from those days, I learned not to use it. Oh,
What happened? Let's see. I hope, hopefully he's okay. No, I see. I think he dropped something, or he disconnected something. So what I was what I hope can you hear me? What's going on? Let's see what he probably spilled something to drink. That's what it's gonna be. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see. What happened here? I guess I had to start over again. Let's see. I'm believing that's what happened here, man. I can't hear you. You got to put on your. I can't hear you.
you can hear me now?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, my I pulled the plug on my tablet and it died. My bad. Luckily, I had another screen. So
That was not dropping, right? you dropped the feed.
It was the same mistake I did at Dylan's about like 4 months ago, where I didn't plug my computer into the power. No, I plugged it into the power socket, but some band member decided to connect his mixing board and unplug my computer.
Oh yes.
My set. But
we've done that all the time. We've done that all the time. That's funny. I mean, you know, and I guess that's going to be a story that, I mean, what would you consider your highlight of your career? What would you consider the highlight of your career as far as doing what you've been doing?
I don't know. I think the highlight of my career would be all the friends that I've made and everything that I've seen. I mean, everything is a different highlight in a different moment. Like, I got memories with everybody. I have memories with you. I have memories with Lewis. I have memories with everybody. And
well, I'm not talking about us DJ wise. I'm talking about I mean, did you play with an artist? Did you play with like somebody who you can say that you DJ'd for? Because I know you're big. I mean, for those people who don't know, I know you know your music, especially when it comes to salsa. I mean, you know your music when it comes to that, because I'm guessing that's where your family listening to that growing up and stuff like that, since you are Puerto Rican. So.
Exactly. It's like, hey, it's there. I guess my highlight would be, I mean, I played with people. I played alongside like with Tito Rojas when I did them at Chromium for Marcelino Ramos. Okay. You know, I played with plenty of big time artists. I've done it all. And I mean, I really don't consider those highlights because I haven't done that one big thing, that one big thing yet, like a big highlight thing. Maybe the fact that I've learned from everybody and I could do something pretty big, just I haven't, is probably a highlight, but I really don't have a highlight. Seeing people fall while dancing or whatnot, those are perfect highlights. I mean, I've seen that plenty of times. Yeah, but nothing major, really.
Those are stories that we could obviously say and stuff like that. I know you help out currently just before the COVID. When my mom passed away, I remember you went and helped out and you DJ'd over at the Drake for me, and then for Tuesday night for the Alhambra and stuff like that. I know Louis Molina. He goes to you, same thing like that. Whenever, something is, and it's just funny because I think people are used to seeing my face and stuff like that, DJ and stuff like that. But if anybody was to say that, hey, if you were to close your eyes and hear music being played, you would not know the difference between me playing or Johnny playing, because that's, his music selection that he plays, he knows what he's playing and stuff like that.
And it's because I learned from you guys. I mean, I learned a lot from you guys. And that's one of the reasons why my selection could be different all the time, because I just didn't stick with one person. I learned from Peter, learned from you, learned from Lewis, learned from Boom, I played Mexican music at Mexican parties, and people they look at me, they're like, how do you know this? And it's like, well, I have a lot of Mexican friends that play this, and they taught me, how to play this. And majority of my clientele was Mexican quinceañeras when I was DJing with DJ Steven. I don't know if you know the Colombian guy.
Yeah, Steven.
With the
Steven,
deep voice, he's already,
Steven. He's got the radio voice.
he's got that golden radio voice, yes.
Yes, he does.
Well, with him, I did all my parties were on the South Side for like 5 years in a row. So everything was from Duranguense, Banda, Zapatiao, you know, and I was just on it, the narco corridos and stuff like that. I play music that people be like, are you Mexican? And I'm like, probably a 5% of me is, you know, because I've learned from so many different DJs that it's like I could switch my style and still sound decent, you know. I'm not saying I'm one of the greatest. Well, when I'm in the bedroom, I always tell myself I'm the best, you know. But, you know, it's like, hey, I learned from a lot of guys that saw so many different things. Hold on, my head is blowing up.
That's funny. No, I mean, that's what I was saying, because of the fact that, you know, and up a good point about the mobile DJs and what Matt Tasser said as well. You know, I wonder if that's going to be where, you know, and it was funny because not to bust out Frank, but Frank texts me and he tells me, hey man, we may have to do some Al Capone shit and do shit underground and stuff like that. And you know, and you know, basically like exactly that. And I wonder if that's where the direction is going to be, as far as not so much underground, but you know, like okay, guess what? We're going to do a hall, and we're limited to only 50 people in the place, and this is how we're going to do it and stuff like that. I wonder if that's going to change the dynamics of a nightclub per se, because you know, a nightclub, you know, and we know there's different size nightclubs. There's lounges, and I wonder if lounges are going to get hurt just like restaurants. You know, restaurants and lounges are kind of the same thing. And then you have the mid-sized clubs, and then you got the mega clubs, which hold, you know, 1,000 people per se. So with this whole thing happening, I wonder if that's going to affect the just the introduction of people coming into the club and stuff like that. Because and I'm going to ask you this: do you think that the particular type of music is going to change as well? Because hence bachata sensual, salsa, you know, those are very close dances.
Dancing, exactly.
Where house music and, you know, hip hop and you don't have, you know, reggaeton. It isn't, or maybe a little bit of reggaeton, but it isn't where everybody's touching each other and holding each other and doing, you know, all the stuff like that. I wonder if that's going to change the type of music that basically people want to go to see or hear and stuff. I could honestly say that when it comes to salsa music, live salsa music, even those live salsa music, is that going to affect the fact that people are going to be afraid to be dancing salsa because you have to touch each other? And I wonder if that's going to change also the dynamics of the nightclub per se.
I think it is, especially because I've been watching, going every weekend or whatnot, and seeing what I seen with these dancers nowadays. You know, like there's one guy that I watch on the weekends that likes to grab girls and flip them around like if they were in a roller coaster. You know, and I know who I'm talking about, but it's like that's not going to be happening. People are not going to take that anymore. Or the fact that people might be hand sanitizing themselves after every dance, you know, like we're going to see a big change. And to me, I'm going to sit there and enjoy it and laugh about it because that's just the thing that I do, you know, but I don't see that social dancing and up close dry humping dancing that these bachata sensual dancers have going on or whatever, you know, I don't see that happening no more. You know, I don't see it happening, but who knows, you know, there's plenty of people out there that just because of the dance, they're going to go out and dance, they're going to go out and do it, and they're going to live it, they're going to love it, you know? So it depends on the person more and not the actual scene within itself. You know, if the person is nervous about it, they're not going to do it. But if the person is not nervous about it, they're going to go out there and go all out like they did before.
Well, it's interesting because I like, for instance, tomorrow I got DJ Sombra, but on Tuesday, the 21st, I got Marco Ramos Garcia from Milwaukee. And he does all the bachata. He does all the bachata events, and he was part of the bachata festival that was supposed to happen. It got canceled and stuff like that.
Which got canceled.
Yeah. So I know I'm going to talk to him about that because I that's a different aspect. I also have on Thursday, April 23rd, DJ J Mars, which is going to be, and then next week I also have DJ Dynamico. There's a lot of guys that I'm going to have, and I can go through the people that I'm going to have on here. The reason why I mention these names is because we, just like you've been in the industry. There's guys that have been in the industry in different aspects of where this industry is at, and it's really cool that I can talk to you, and then I got who I had, DJ Mario Reyes, and then Montasser was a very good aspect of because of newbie and stuff like that. Like I got DJ Sombra tomorrow, which is one of the guys that from the old Palladium days and stuff.
Original like that. For Fantastic, original for Fantastic.
Yes.
And I was there to witness it. So
yes. For those people that don't know, the Four Fantastic events was originally called Los Cuatro Fantásticos. That was the DJ there, and just to not. Again, it goes back to the whole point of me not trying to compete because at that time there was the V5. They weren't even called V5; they were called Volume Entertainment.
Yeah.
And Frank Monroy had his DJs, which was Diablo and all the other guys. And I remember that was Rock Pop and Alternativo. And if you remember when I did Tropicana or Palladium at the time upstairs, I said to the guys, I said, listen, I want us to do this 20 minutes of every different style. So, Alex Perez was part of that. There was Viento, Fernando, Fantasma, and it was four guys. But we each had our different themes that we did. And shouts out to everybody that has been following me for God. That was
years ago.
Yeah, it was many years ago. God, that was almost 34 years ago, 35 years ago. And simultaneously, I had made the mixtapes and CDs at the time as well. So that kind of worked out really well. But if it's going to be interesting because that's one of the things that I really love about this whole format that I'm doing. That this thing that I'm doing with the talking to you and talking to the other DJs is because I want to make sure that people that are listening, people that are here, because remember, we're archiving it and we're going to make sure that this is our record because a lot of times, I think for the guys who've made it, I can say make it, like Frankie Knuckles and all the guys, DJs, but there's also a lot of DJs that they're Chicago known, but they're not worldwide known per se. It's that can be I want to make sure that who knows, you could be when I first talked to Pitbull was just a guy that I knew back in the days and stuff like that, and that was in 2003, 2004. When I first did the reggaeton market, and I talked to Wisin and Yandel, I already know what they did in Puerto Rico, but how did we know that that I would be the guy? Well, and then I would be the guy who worked out the deal for him to work with R. Kelly to do "Burn It Up," with Vince, from Jive Records and stuff like that. So
wow, Jive! I haven't heard of Jive in forever.
Yeah, so but that's what I said. Those are different things that I can say that if I can record this stuff. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it with you and I'm doing it with everybody because we just never know what's going to happen next year, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, because this record that we're doing right now is going to be iconic and say, hey, guess what? If in 2003, when I brought Evie Queen and Baby Rasta Gringo and Check out of here, who would have known that was going to be the start of the reggaeton movement here in Chicago?
Yeah, I knew it was a fun time.
I knew it because I said, when I was doing Rancho Luna, that was the club I was trying to do. I was doing Rancho Luna. And when I said, hey, man, I says, I want to bring, and it was a true story, is we're at the Aragon when we did the event. It was called Reggaeton Megaton. That was the name of the event.
I forgot about that event.
Reggaeton Megaton. And we had Evie Queen, Baby Rasta Gringo, and Chaka, and Nuenta Mias and stuff like that. And I remember we had grandmothers coming out to the event. Grandmas, and you would notice. And basically, I was told, you brought the to Chicago. And that's what it was, because in Puerto Rico, and I was, when I heard that, and we only had, I think it was like 1,400 people. In Aragon, that's a lot of people, but it was 1,400 people for the first reggaeton concert, was phenomenal and stuff like that. And and then what happens? Then Daddy Yankee came in. There was Wisin Dell came after Don Omar, Tego Calderon, and it broke open.
Baby Ranks, so on and so forth, which we did the Baby Ranks at Globals together, and at and I forgot the other place I did it at with Marcelino Ramos and those days too, and yes.
And that's what I'm, and the cool thing about it is that I want to make sure that everybody understands that, Johnny is one of the guys that have been around in the business for quite a long time. And I give him a lot of credit because of the fact that he stood with the business, because there's people in this business that say, oh, well, like I got frustrated with the house scene because I couldn't make it past the Hot Mix 5. So I said, oh, you know what? Let me do something different. And I went into the Latin scene and I made my mixtape and CD. And that's how I busted up to be who I am today, DJ Prieto. True story, guys. And Anna, my ex, will tell you this. I was not called DJ Prieto growing up.
Let's get it. Everybody needs to hear this story, because this is a story that everybody. Let's put it out there. Go ahead. I won't say nothing until you finish it. So, if you need correction, I'm here to correct you.
So growing up, my DJ name, growing up as a house DJ, was Angelo Pumping Prieto. I grew up in my household with the name because we didn't speak Spanish at home. So growing up, my dad and my mom, they didn't speak. Now, mind you, my mom spoke Spanish fluently, but never talked to my dad in Spanish. So it was always Prieto growing up. And growing up in grammar school, in high school, it was Prieto. And then when I made that first mixtape, it was one of the DJs, Gabriel Rican Rodriguez, who was Puerto Rican, right? Rican Rodriguez. Goes, dude, you can't call yourself Prieto anymore. You got to call yourself Prieto. And I was like, oh, wait, I heard Prieto, but I thought it was a derogative name, and it's un Prieto. And then he goes, no, man, call yourself DJ El Prieto. And I go, why El Prieto? And he goes, because it's like a surname. It's like Don Prieto. And I says, oh, you know what? And I did. I remember Rick Torres, who owned the printing company, had made my J cards as well. There was Telly there as well, the DJ Telly, at the same time. I remember we're making those J cards, and here's the tape that the Ritmo Caliente, as we mentioned before, has DJ El Prieto. They never seen my face, and by the way, everybody assumed that guys like you were Prieto for a long time.
Still to this day, because that didn't happen. Oh wait, I thought you were Prieto. No. I'm Johnny. I'm just Johnny.
So, and then people realize that's my last name, DJ Prieto. I dropped the L after a while, but because of the mixtapes, and it actually helped sell the mixtapes, because when they seen the name, they said, "Oh, it's a guy from the
Dominican Republic."
Dominican Republic, Puerto Rican, stuff like that. Hey, Louis, what's happening, man? And that was where it all kind of, it helped the sales per se. It did help the sales. It wasn't planned out that way. It was just things that happen, and that was kind of what I was going to say about the music wise, and especially when it comes to the reggaeton and stuff like that. I wonder if that's going to change the aspect of this industry because of everything that's going on. If this style of music is going to change, because and Facebook Live. Let's look at Facebook Live. And we got about 5 minutes. So guys, thank you for joining in. Thanks a lot. Louis tells me that I got a perfect face for radio. Thanks a lot.
I do too. He does too. So let's keep it there.
No, yeah, they're really funny.
What Louis was that though? What Louis?
Louis Molina.
Of course. He can't even stand up to the table to see the screen below.
He'll be like this. Oh, yeah, what's up, guys?
What's up, guys? How's it going? needs a milk crate just to have a decent conversation.
Yeah, everybody knows Lewis. Lewis is a little guy. He's a little guy.
Lewis is above average height.
So yeah, that's good. Joker is laughing. Sergio is laughing about. So what I was saying is that because of the live streaming, I think that's also going to be a factor what's happening here on Facebook and live, because like I was doing the live streaming, you've seen what happened, that it was getting so over and dated with the live streaming that Facebook was getting interrupted and stuff like that. And even right now, 8 o'clock, I'm sure there's a lot of live streaming out there with music. And how can you that, it's like it'll knock off the internet if everybody's on the live streaming and stuff like that. But how much music can you do live streaming? How much music can you accept live streaming? I love music like everyone else. I really do. And I want to hear everything from, I love Kazumba. I love the reggae, and I love reggaeton, and I love hip hop, and I love, and this industry has changed. The dynamics have changed in this industry as well.
But if you haven't noticed, our industry changes like every 15 years. Because let's go to 25 years ago. When Napster hit, that changed our industry. Napster really changed our industry. Also, Spotify, when Spotify and Pandora hit, that also changed our industry in different ways. But a lot of people used to go to nightclubs to dance and to hear the music and stuff like that. But as soon as these things came out, like Napster, Pandora, downloading stuff or whatever, it really dwindled our industry a lot. And it made it more accessible to new DJs, because the whole computer industry too, because I myself pretty much feel like, and there's a lot of DJs that I see all the time, but I feel like if I put you in front of 2 turntables, you wouldn't know how to wipe your ass from here to Sunday. And that's keeping it real. Now if I put a little computer on there, you could fake the funk, but let's keep it real. The computer does all that for you.
Right.
Prieto came out of 1200s. I came out of 1200s, luckily. And half the guys that I actually know and respect as DJs came out of 1200s. I have just one friend out there that I allow the fact that started with a laptop, and that's Freddie Fresh. That's the only one I have respect for. But half these other guys, I don't care what you do. If you want to trick off with Serato or whatever, let me see you do that on a real mixer. Nothing digital.
Well,
and they wouldn't know how to do it.
Well, here, just to give you, so the concept of vinyl, and if everybody knows that, vinyl is heavy as shit. That's heavy as shit to carry all this vinyl and stuff like that. And you're limited to what you can play because you got to bring whatever, the crates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But remember, when I was at Tropicana, what did I had CDs. If you remember, I had CDs.
Well, that's when CDs came out, and he used to carry 2 big, stupid duffel bags with like 12 books inside each of them. And that's because I carried those duffel bags.
Yeah.
So I know why.
And those duffel bags, if everybody watched 8 heads in a 8 heads in the bag, it was that movie 8 heads in the bag. It looked
8
like
heads in the duffel bag.
8 heads in the duffel bag. That's exactly how big the duffel bags were. And I had books of 400 CDs, and each of the books were 6 books in every duffel bag. So there were 6 in one and 6 in another. And technically, what I was doing was basically what you have on Serato and were the crates. So all the crates that we do in the for those people who don't know, when we're mixing, all the music is put into what they call crates.
Yeah.
The crates are what you call. So basically, I was doing exactly, and Tuesday Night Boxing is the perfect example. When I was doing Tropicana, I had all 12 books open up because I had to choose, just like we do what we're doing computer. It was real time having to put the CD in and stuff like that. It wasn't using the mouse and stuff like that and saying click. Okay,
or typing in for the name of the song.
Right, exactly. That made a big difference. But it also taught me about this industry and taught me about how to be very open to what, we talk about the music and time's almost running out, Johnny. So I just wanted to let you know, but so it just taught me about how to appreciate music and so forth and so on, and then converting over to
MP3s,
MP4s, and especially video mixing. That's where,
yeah.
If you remember, I don't know if you remember, but I got out of DJing for a little bit, And because I got tired of just all like just the computer DJing, just kind of what you said about that. But then when I changed my tune when the video mixing came in, and that's when I started to. And if you notice, that's why I really push is to try to do the video mixing and stuff like that.
And sync the video, you know, because that's the same thing that I do. I mean, I stopped for a little bit. Only reason I was doing weddings and continue was because they'll allow me to bring a projector and do my videos, you know. Right. And now I have like, I don't know, like 13 terabytes of video, 13 terabytes of music, and download music every day for the quarantine that has me stuck at home playing music to myself.
Well, here's and just to top it off, you know, I'm going to tell you guys that it's one of the things that I think happened in my industry, and maybe guys, I don't, you can agree with me and I agree with me, but there's a couple of things that happened in the nightclub. And I'm going to say this for the DJs that are out there, you know, there's visual and there's audio aspect there, just like we're doing right now. You're hearing my voice and you're seeing this, and this is why this is important. I think there has to be a play of both aspects of it, because when I was doing the video mixing, one of the things I noticed, and that's why I always push the video aspect of it. And even when it comes to the local bands here, you know, and I give a lot of credit to F and Gow, who's a perfect example. The guys who are doing music and they have a video behind the music. And I tell everybody, man, music is phenomenal. Please send me a video. And now you see a lot of people doing studio videos and stuff, the studio and stuff like that. And I think that's important for the DJs. And I think that's live stream is cool and stuff like that. And I think DJs are streaming live and stuff like that, DJ and stuff like that. But I think that's also going to be a big plus, that put some work behind it too. Don't just, you know, I'm DJing and then, you know, because
there's some different visuals, you know, loop a video scene, you know, there's different things to do. Another thing that I want to say before I forget, guys that are doing this live stream, make it easy on yourself. Go to ASCAP.com, pay the $50 and get a blanket licensing. When you get your blanket licensing, go to your Facebook page all the way on the right hand and look through your settings. Under your settings, you can add your licensing on there. Facebook takes 72 hours to visualize it, and then they won't put your live stream in the algorithm. That's one of the things that I did with the radio station, and that's why when I did my video shows and stuff like that, it was getting cut off at first, but once that everything went through, I never got cut off again.
Okay, so that's important. So repeat that again, because I think that's going to be good advice. And please, when we're done with this, make sure to type it in to let people know, because I didn't know that. So go ahead and repeat that again, or what they need to do.
So it's $50 a month, 50 or 60 bucks a month. I paid mine for 5 years, so I really don't know the price monthly. But it's an ASCAP blanket licensing. Both ASCAP and BMI sell it. This is a licensing that lets you, basically it gives you copyright permission. As long as you're not charging, you're good. You know, if you're charging money, then there's another fee for another license that you got to pay. But it says it all under ASCAP and BMI. It's a basic radio licensing that is used by all online broadcasters in order to be able to use the music. It's really cheap a month. It's a monthly fee. I mean, one of the things as a DJ that we have to do is get ready for the monthly fees. I've been paying ASCAP for years already, because there's some nightclubs that don't have that one licensing that says, oh, well, we could play music here. You know, they just play it because there's nobody checking. But now with the way technology is going, algorithms and everything that's going on, it's easier for people to check stuff. So just ASCAP.com or BMI.com/licensing. And you'll see the information will be right on there. I'll type it in a few minutes when I get my phone charged and all that stuff, because it just died on me. So it's like I'm never around to charge. It's always hard for me to keep on my charge right now. And I walk around with chargers. That's the problem. Cool. I guess it's the end of the show for me.
Yep, that's it. It went by quickly, right?
It went by really quickly. I was about to bust out the bowl and the cigarettes and cigarette and, you know, just have some fun. But thank you, Prieto, for having me. I'll do it again if you ever want me to. And when we get the mixing down pat, we'll get on live and do nice video streaming and all that good stuff. Everybody out there, take care, be safe, don't breathe the air because it's killing us. That's basically
We gotta breathe air.
I breathe nicotine, that's why. Prieto, when we finish, I'll holler at you over the line. And everybody take care. God bless. And it was fun.
Hey guys, stay healthy, stay in, and please join us. Don't forget tomorrow. And then Marco from Milwaukee, we're going to be doing it. Thank you very much. And have a good one, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.